He says, don't let your heart be agitated, worked up, stressed out, all up in arms and thinking the worst and worst case scenario and negative and what about this and what if this happens, and no, he says, let not your heart be troubled. In other words, enter into his rest. Lay down beside the still waters that I'm leading you to. In the midst of trouble, in the midst of turmoil, in the midst of anxious circumstances, in the midst of fear and foreboding and frustration, he says, come to me. I will lead you beside still waters, waters of rest. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. He says, not only don't let your heart be troubled, don't let it be afraid. Don't let it be fearful. Don't give place to fear. Fear not. He says, my peace I give to you. Now, the Greek word, we've talked about the Hebrew word shalom, wholeness, wellness, completeness, nothing broken, nothing missing. This is the New Testament counterpart for the Old Testament shalom. It's a Greek irene, and it means it spoke of in the classical Greek the cessation of war. The cessation of war. God wants to bring peace to your life, put an end to the war, the turmoil between your spirit and your unrenewed mind and your undisciplined body, between the war and your emotions or your thoughts, or the war in your home or your marriage or your relationships or in your finances, or on and on. The cessation of war. He wants to bring peace. It means to put away conflict. He wants to put away the conflict in your life, whatever form that might take, to bring order in the place of chaos. You might say, oh, that describes my life. Chaos, chaotic. The shepherd says, let me lead you beside still waters and give you order in the place of chaos. It speaks, Irene speaks of a calm. Now, listen closely to this. It speaks of a calm inner, this is from the Greek, a calm inner stability that results in the ability to conduct oneself peacefully, even in the midst of circumstances that would normally be traumatic or upsetting. Well, I need to read that again. Listen closely to this. This is Irene. He says, my peace, my Irene, my shalom, I leave with you. My peace, my shalom, my Irene, I give to you. And the word means a calm inner stability that results in the ability. I like that. A stability that results in ability. Woo, glory. That'll preach right there. That could be a message right there. The stability that results in ability. That's hot off the press. I never said that or thought that before. A calm inner stability that results in the ability to conduct oneself peacefully. So it's an ability that results in stability to help you conduct yourself peacefully. Now, get this, even in the midst of circumstances that would normally be traumatic or upsetting. Now, we're going to see that in John 16:33. It says, in the world you'll have tribulation, but be of good cheer. Be calm, undisturbed, relaxed. I've overcome the world. I'm getting ahead of myself, but this is ties right in. So now the word Irene, peace, it also speaks of a time of prosperity. Prosperity. That he says, my peace, my shalom, my Irene, I leave with you. My peace I give to you. My prosperity. Prosperity, spirit, soul, body, finances, socially. In fact, in the Old Covenant, in the Old Testament, the word shalom is sometimes translated prosperity. In the Psalms where it says, let them say continually, Psalm 27, I believe it is. Let them say continually, I think it's verse 10. Let them say continually, let the Lord be magnified, who has pleasure, who has pleasure, not displeasure, but pleasure in the prosperity of his servants. That word prosperity is shalom, peace, wholeness. It would be irene in the Greek translation of the Old Testament. God has pleasure in the prosperity. Contrary to religion and the traditions of men that say, no, God has pleasure in the poverty of his servants because it keeps them humble. No, God says he has pleasure in the prosperity of his servants because they grow and they can be a blessing. Because you have to be blessed in order to be a blessing. God told Abraham, I'm going to make you a blessing I'm going to bless you so you can be a blessing. And the true Bible prosperity, I've said it before, I'll say it again, but it has to be repeated because so many people have a wrong concept of prosperity and it gets criticized. People say, oh, the prosperity gospel, the health and wealth gospel, as if it should be a poverty and sickness gospel. No, true prosperity is prosperity in 5 major areas: spirit, soul, body, finances, socially. Now, notice finance is only one of 5. It is one of the 5, but that's not all there is to it. Like I said before, when you hear the word prosperity, don't, like most people, see a dollar sign. Most people, they hear the word prosperity and they think a dollar sign. That's only 1/5 of true prosperity. You can have all kinds of money and be spiritually broke, spiritually a pauper. Somebody can have billions of dollars, but they die and go to hell. What good is it? They can have they can have millions of dollars, but if they can't get their body healed, what good is their money? They can have billions of dollars if they got a mind that's all full of anxiety and turmoil and stress and they want to commit suicide. What good is all their money to them? They got all kinds of money, but if their relationships are falling apart, their marriage is falling apart, the relationship with their kids and grandkids and everything falling apart, are they truly prosperous? No, God talks about what I spoke of earlier, whole life prosperity. When I was talking about one of the things we shall not want is whole life prosperity, which we'll get to when we look at he prepares a table before us in the presence of our enemies. That's one of the things we shall not want, whole life prosperity. We'll pause there. And again, all this week, thank God for peace, for refreshing, for renewal, for reviving, for rejuvenation, for the still waters that he leads you to, for the rest that only he can give. And don't forget to subscribe and share. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless you.